Crystal and welcome to my kitchen. Today on my lunch break, I'm going to throw a pumpkin chili into my crock pot and let it cook the rest of the day. Then we'll be able to enjoy that either tonight or tomorrow as leftover. This recipe is from www.allrecipes.com and it is called butternut squash and turkey chili. And I'll show it to you here so you can see it. Okay. And I have a number of modifications that I make to this recipe. You can add any kind of ground meat that you would like. Ground turkey, ground beef, ground chicken. I just recommend that's the one thing you should saute on the stovetop and drain the grease before you add it to your crock pot. This recipe is a great thing to make when it's cold out. Like right here right now in New Jersey, it's still a bit chilly, especially during the springtime. But another reason that this is a good recipe to make right now is because when you start to get low on fresh ingredients and it's a bit more challenging to go grocery shopping right now during the coronavirus crisis, you can make this with things that you have kept or stored in your pantry cupboard. So first thing is that for making the sourdough pizzas, I have this bag of mixed colored bell peppers, red, orange, and yellow. So I want to try to use some of these before they go bad. It calls for 2 cloves of garlic. I've got 1 big elephant clove, 1 chopped onion, 1 chopped jalapeno, and then, and actually I think the jalapeno is my own addition. Then I'm going to use 1 packet of Goya powdered chicken bouillon, 1 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, 2 15-ounce cans of diced tomatoes. This is my ingredients. So when I first made this recipe, I didn't have butternut squash on hand, but I had a 15-ounce can of pure pumpkin, you know, the kind you would buy to make pumpkin pies. That late afternoon light is coming in through my kitchen window, so it's hard to see the can. And then I always keep, all these canned tomatoes and canned pumpkin and some canned beans in my cupboard for just this type of occasion. So today for the beans, I'm going to do 3 15-ounce cans of beans. I'm going to do dark red kidney, black beans, and white beans, or great northern beans. I think today I have small white beans. You can pretty much pick whatever bean mixture you like. You don't have to mix them. You could do 3 cans of all the same. And with these beans, they do not need to be soaked because they're already in the liquid in the can. But what I do is I rinse them in a colander really well, and then I let that drain, and then I'll add it to my crock pot. And then there's a number of different spices, and some of these include my own modifications. So there's, I already mentioned the 1 packet of chicken bouillon, half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, 1 teaspoon of coriander, 1 to 2 teaspoons of oregano, half a teaspoon of fennel seeds, that's my own addition, as are most of these other ones, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of ground cumin, half a teaspoon of garlic salt. I just use regular salt, not garlic salt, because I put fresh garlic in it. And then it says for 1 can of corn, I usually add about a cup. I have some fresh frozen corn that I got at my farmer's market at the end of last season. I just cut it off the cob and froze it, so I'll pull that out of my freezer and use about a cup of it. And then I put all of that in my crock pot, and then I pour in enough low sodium chicken stock to fill the crock pot. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes after I get everything prepped and show you what that looks like. And then I'll let it cook in my crock pot on high for 6 hours. Stir it periodically throughout the afternoon, and then it should be ready. Thank you. Okay, I finished prepping all the ingredients. I rinsed all of the cans of beans and added them to the crock pot. I added all the canned tomatoes to the crock pot and the can of pumpkin. I did add just a little bit of the chicken stock, and then I went ahead and prepped all the vegetables. So just wanted to show you what that looks like before I throw it in. So, let me see, here we go. Okay, so here we have the garlic. I just chopped that up finely. The jalapeno, I took out some of the seeds so that it's not super spicy. And then the diced yellow onion. So I'll add all of those to the pot. Just in case you were wondering how I prepare those things for the crock pot. Okay, And then for my mixed bag of peppers, I just chop them all up into bite-sized pieces. Seed them, chop them all up. Now I'm gonna add those. Those smell so nice and fresh. Then I went and got all of the spices and put them in a little dish. And to that I'll add my 1 packet of Goya chicken bouillon. And then I'll just add all of that on top. Okay, now I'm going to gently stir it and cook it on high in my crock pot for about 6 hours. Now let me just get this stirred in and then I'll give you a zoomed up shot of what this looks like in the crock pot before we put the lid on and let it cook for a while. So now you can see everything in the crock pot before we start the cooking. I'm just stirring it up to get everything mixed up thoroughly, all the spices and the tomato sauce and the vegetables and the beans. And it has a nice color variation from all the different ingredients that I added. Now the last thing I'm going to add to the crock pot is the rest of the low sodium chicken stock. And you can see I ran out just a little bit there, so I'll open up another one. And I want to fill the crock pot up to the brim so that I have a nice full crock pot and that there's enough juice and liquid to compensate for the thickening that will occur from the tomatoes and the tomato sauce. Thank you. And we're back. The chili's done, and I'm gonna check it now. You can see that it's still through the lid. It's still bubbling a little bit, but it smells really good here. And I've checked it a few times over the last 6 hours just to make sure that it was cooking properly and that it wasn't sticking to the bottom of the crock pot. And it has thickened up nicely. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I hope you'll try giving this recipe a shot in your kitchen and wait till you see what it looks like. I'm going to give you an up close inside the crock pot. Just a moment. This is what it looks like right after I took the lid off. And now I'm gonna stir it up just a little bit to kind of show you the consistency. There's a little bit more liquid sitting right on the top. But look how beautiful this is. And remember, when I started the crock pot, I filled it all the way up to the rim. And you can see some of it does evaporate. But it has a wonderful consistency. It's not too thick, it's not too thin. And the broth looks nice and rich. I'm gonna grab a spoon and just have a little taste of the broth, make sure it's good. Oh yeah, the flavor is perfect. Enjoy making your chili at home. This version I made, again, is vegetarian. This is my pumpkin chili. But it would be very easy to add any kind of ground meat that you like. And I hope you enjoy your version at home. Good night.